Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a quick analysis over the S&P 500 general market, and then looking over two stock picks that I think will do very well over the short time in the next couple of weeks. So first, looking at the SPX Index, we've been consolidating within this contracting triangle pattern over the past couple of months, and this is a general broader pattern that we kind of broke out recently from, as seen over here. And then we entered into a smaller time frame contracting triangle where it bounced between this upper trend line and this lower trend line. And recently, we broke out of this smaller time scale trend line, and now we're entering an even smaller time frame contracting triangle. So if we look at the hourly time frame, we can see that these nested contracting triangle patterns kind of point to where the market's going to go overall, and I believe that's in the bullish direction. And we can see very soon that we can expect some kind of push outside of this third contracting triangle. And what that means basically is that the S&P 500 and the overall general market climate should be pretty good over the next few weeks. And moving into this, we'll look at two stock picks, Cloudflare and Twitter, which I believe will be pretty solid picks that should flow with this bullish market trend. So looking at Cloudflare, I've gone into this previously in my past videos, and we recommended the stock around this 57 price point before the huge jump from earnings, and we recommended it again on the bottom of this downtrend as we consolidated within this upper trend pattern. So just to summarize from a perspective of Elliott wave theory, what I believe this stock is doing is simply a 0, a 1, 2, 3, 4 consolidation, and a push up for a fifth wave to finish the pattern. So what this means pretty much is that we can expect a break from this consolidation pattern very soon in the near future. And we've already seen the stock kind of peak up above this consolidation line, which I believe is very, very bullish. And if we look at just some simple Fibonacci retracement levels on this increase, we can see that this the second wave traced right back to the 382 line. If we start the bottom as this level, and if we start the bottom at this green candle or this green bar, we can see that the second wave retraced perfectly to the 618 level. So this validates our analysis that this is following an Elliott wave trend pattern. And additionally, if we look at the fourth wave consolidation and some of the bottoms of this consolidation pattern, we can see that a lot of these candles / bars are touching the 618 line, and this is looking pretty solid in terms of a wave theory perspective. So what this means is that this bottom of our upwards consolidation for the fourth wave is a good buy point around here. So if we look at the hourly chart and we'll look at some candles, so that's a little bit clearer. So we've been ranging back and forth between these this upper trend line here acting as support, this lower trend line acting as support, and the upper trend line acting as resistance. And just yesterday, on Wednesday's trading day, we broke above this trend line, and we actually closed above the trend line. So that's very bullish. And so if you're looking to get into the stock, I would definitely do it upon using this trend line, this upper trend line, as support. So what this means specifically is we can expect, since we already broke out of these trend lines, we can expect the push for the fifth wave in the near future. And we have the EMAs to support as well coming down. So once this thing pushes up forward, the EMAs and this upper trend line will act as support for your price. So that's why I believe Cloudflare is a buy right now. And we'll check back in the next maybe future video to see how it does. As in the past two videos, I've recommended this stock and has done very well according to plan. So if we look at Twitter now, this is another stock pick that I was recommending, and it is not necessarily following a strict Elliott wave pattern, but we did notice that the stock gapped down very much over here due to a negative response to their earnings report. And since then, we've kind of hit this huge bottom, and we've gradually built back up to this level. And the reason why I believe the stock pick is such a buy right now is because there's very heavy resistance on the top of this red candle right here This is exactly at 45. And if we zoom into the hourly perspective, we can see that it tried many times to break through the support line and it failed. So there's actually a triple top pattern over here. So pushed up here, failed, pushed up here as well, failed, pushed up here, failed, failed again, and then finally it just broke through on Wednesday's trading day. And now we have the EMAs to act as support. If you also look at the daily, the EMAs should be catching up. Yeah, exactly. They should be catching up to the support line. So, and for most of you who study technical analysis, there's a very general rule that any gaps such as these always will be filled. This is a huge gap in price. I kind of drew the prospective price drop, which is a 15% drop, which corresponds to about a 7 price index in Twitter. And this huge gap down is bound to be filled at some point. And since we broke into the resistance, I believe that this stock is a must buy right now. And it should fill this stock price, this gap. And if we look at the indicators on the daily, it also supports this claim. So we look at stochastic RSI, and it's currently in the overbought region, so we can expect it to kind of maybe consolidate above this support here and eventually push upwards. And if we look at the MACD indicator, this is such a beautiful increase in the bullish case for the histogram. So if we look at just the way this MACD has been converging, we see that the histogram has lost all the bearish motivation and the bearish momentum, and we're approaching bullish territory. And we even have a golden cross right here in the indicator. So this is definitely a buy signal. And additionally, if we look at the RSI, it is increasing. So the RSI has peaked above the 50 level mark and is now pushing upwards, which confirms our price action. So if you were to get in on the stock, since the RSI is a little bit overbought, you could wait for a dip, and it probably will dip somewhere close to this 45 support line, and will push upwards to fill the gap. So yeah, those are my 2 picks that I think will flow very well with the bullish market. And obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, so I have no clue what I'm doing. But this is just some kind of advice for me for what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks. And I will check back in a future video to see if I was right. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.